Alright class, we've already learned how to factor equations, but now I'm going to teach you how to factor complex trinomials. Now I already have an example written down for us that I want us to try as a class. So can anyone tell me why this is a complex trinomial? Does anyone see anything different? Okay, that's perfectly fine. The reason why this is a complex trinomial is because the equation has a coefficient at the front, which means there's a number in front of the x. So I already have, because it's a complex trinomial, we're going to start off the same way with two brackets. But we can't just write x and x like how we usually do. We need, since it's a 12, we need to write two numbers that multiply to become x. Question?
Why did we start off with brackets again?
Because when factoring, you need to figure out two equations that multiply to become it. Okay, so I already have the factors written down for 12. So 12 and 1 is the first one, so let's just start with 12 and 1. So 12 and 1, and you need to remember that because it's 12x squared, we need to add an x. So 12x and 1x, which could also be considered 1. Now, we need to figure out two numbers that multiply to become 15, and I already have it prepared here. So let's just start with 3 and 5. 3 and 5. Now class, this looks perfectly fine, but can you guys notice anything wrong?
There's no positive or negative signs in the brackets.
That as well, but I mean with the numbers within each bracket. Can anyone notice anything wrong? Okay, the problem here is that within the first bracket, there's two numbers that are common factors, and you cannot have any common factors within the bracket, so we're going to need to switch these around to let the equation make more sense. So we're going to have the equation as 12x 5 and 1x3. Now, do you guys notice something about the signs in the equation?
They're all negative?
They're all negative, but the 12x at the front is positive, which means the symbols within the brackets cannot be all positive or negative, so we're going to have one positive and one negative. So we'll do 12x plus 5 and 1x subtract 3. Now we can begin multiplying like how we always do. So this. Okay, what's 12x times 1x?
12x squared?
Correct. What's 12x times negative 3?
I'm not sure.
Okay, it's negative 36x. Now what's 5 times 1x?
5x?
Correct. And now what's 5 times negative 3?
15? Negative 15?
Negative 15, correct. Okay, so now when we add these together, it's going to be 12x squared. What's negative 36x plus 5x?
Negative 31x?
Correct. And then you just bring the negative 15 down. So now we can clearly see that this is not the equation that we needed. So we're going to scratch this out. Now this is all about trial and error. So when you figure out that one pair is not right, you just don't do it again. Okay, so we'll try 12 and 1 again. Or actually class, do you guys want to try 6 and 2 this time or 12 and 1?
We haven't tried 15 and 1 yet, so we can try 12 and 1 with 15 and 1.
That's correct. 12 and 1 could be right. So let's do 12x. We'll do plus 15. And then 1x subtract 1. Okay, so class, what's 12x times 1x?
12x squared.
12x squared. What's 12x times negative 1?
Negative 12x.
Okay. What's 15 times 1x?
15x.
Okay. And what's 15 times negative 1?
15? Negative 15?
Correct. So when we add these together, it becomes 12x squared. Negative 12x plus 15x equals?
Negative 180x.
No, we're adding them together. So it'll equal 3x.
Oh.
But that's okay. And then you just bring the negative 15 down. So again, we see this is not the equation that we wanted, so we're gonna scratch this out. So now we've tried 12 and 1 both times. So now let's try 62, which is the next in the lineup. So 6 and 2. So now, which factors for 15 would you guys like to try?
Let's try 5 and 3.
5 and 3? Okay. So plus 5, subtract 3, and we need to remember to add the x's. So now, what's 6x times 12x? I mean, what's 6x times 2x?
It's 12x squared.
Okay. What's 6x times negative 3?
Negative 18x.
Correct. What's 5 times 2x?
10x.
Correct. Now what's 5 times negative 3?
Negative 15.
Correct. So now when we add this all together, it would equal 12x squared subtract 8x subtract 15. And now you see that it's the exact same thing as the equation at the top, so we know that it's right.